So we have another attack in the Washington Capitol. And again, it's by someone that we purposely let in. It's came out that the Biden administration allowed this guy to come in 2021. Not only that, he was part of a covert group that was tied to the CIA. So we see the evil and what this form of bringing people to our country actually does. It causes more problems. We're going to discuss what Chuck Schumer said just a few years back, how he was against this, and now all of a sudden it benefits his political party, so now he's quote-unquote for it. We're going to discuss that. Also, we're going to talk about what the penalty is for coming into other countries and doing things for a majority of the world. It's just for some reason the West has adopted this new policy just to give free stuff to everyone because of votes. We're going to discuss all that. Also, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. There's some more research that has come out, and the reason we bring these up just about every video is because the more that comes out, the more you should know, because to be honest with you, a lot of people took it, and now you need to know what to look for and how to make sure that you are safe and healthy and what you can proactively do to stay away from the dangers of this. We're going to discuss it. And lastly, we're going to discuss what this billionaire said about AI and about tech. Also, how it goes along with what the Department of Energy just came out with Genesis, which we talked about yesterday, and also what MIT's study already shows about AI. The dangers are there. And wait till you hear what this AI billionaire just stated. He said the quiet parts out loud, which should make us say, wow, we better get ready. Let's dive into these stories today. This video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so very much for being here. Happy Thanksgiving. We hope that you have spent time with your family. Hopefully you didn't eat too much, but ultimately we hope that you don't take life for granted. You don't take your family for granted, and also the freedoms that we have for granted, and most of all, spiritually, don't take God for granted for all the things He's given us. So thank you so much for watching. We're humbled again by your support each and every day. So the reason I want to call this the urgent Thanksgiving message is because we're missing out on some things that are happening right before our very eyes. So first, let's talk about the situation yesterday that happened in Washington, D.C. The two National Guard getting shot, and the person was yelling, of course, Muslim rhetoric, and he was an Afghan refugee that we brought here, that the Biden administration, it is confirmed that was brought here by the Biden administration in 2021. Not only that, it was confirmed by the CIA that he was part of a CIA program. So those two things show that the government had full entanglement into this. So it's amazing how we want to make America better and greater. However, we have leaders who are absolutely working against us. Our own CIA and, of course, the Biden administration. Now, these have nothing to do with the Trump administration. Daniel Radcliffe, that is now the CIA director, brought this up and actually said this was done by the last administration. So the point is, how many more of this is going to take place? Now, I want to bring your attention to this. We brought over 20 to 30 million people in the last 4 years in Biden administration. They said of that 40 million, they know that there were thousands that were on terror watch lists that we brought into this country, okay? We know that there are funding of Islamic terror going on in America through Qatar, through Muslim Brotherhood, and through CARE. We know all those things. We've talked about that extensively in videos in the last few days. I want you to listen to what Charlie Kirk said. This was just days before his passing. And again, I think we don't realize the dangers of what we have done by opening our borders. Listen to this. Charlie Kirk nailed it. It says, I cannot see a single Western country that has become better and has done freer and happier times for their people when they bring in Islamic immigrants. There's no one country that is better, that lives happier, and that is freer. The Marxist government during this time, he was talking about the Biden administration, brought in people to ultimately hate the West. Now we're seeing the repercussions of that. We're literally seeing, not only do we talk about the dangers of how the Biden administration confirmed trafficked under 18, now we see that they brought in people that were ultimately having one goal, to destroy the West. Now, don't you listen to what Chuck Schumer just said back in the late 90s when he first got elected. It's amazing how politics, how these people are so sleazy. Listen to what he said. This is from Chuck Schumer. It says, the number one reason people come to the U.S. illegally is to defraud systems like Social Security, and I want to stop it. And that was Chuck Schumer. Now, boy, has things changed. because now his party embraces it because it means votes. So nothing helped the American people by bringing these people over, but it helped him keep getting elected and his party keep staying in power and him getting more money. Do you see the dangers of this? Let's go to someone else that talked about the dangers of Western civilizations bringing in these people from overseas. This guy said, it's amazing to me how in the world that in Canada, US, Europe, we believe that if we can bring people over here, that our lives are going to get better. He says, in Singapore, if you come across the border illegally, no matter for what reason, 6 months in prison. If you go into Russia, 2 years in labor camp. India, 8 years in prison. Pakistan, 10 years in prison. North Korea, obviously the death penalty. He says, but in America, in Europe, and in Canada, we give free housing, free healthcare, free education, free food, free public transport, cell phones, cash, and we will shut down a government to keep giving those benefits. How lost are we? Listen to this about the shooter. Illegal alien from Afghanistan overstayed a visa granted to him by Joe Biden during the Operation Allies Welcome on 9/8 of 2021. He was only 29 years old. His last known whereabouts was in Washington State, not Washington, D.C. So how all of a sudden he get from there to there? What kind of funds does he have? If he's illegal, how's he working? How's he making money? So I think we need to dig into, are we paying this guy? Is our government money funding him to then turn around and shoot our people? Think about that. And name one area, like Charlie Kirk said, name one area that we have brought this group of individuals from the Middle East into our countries and it's gotten better. Not one country has gotten better from this world religion of pure evil. Not one. Don't let anybody spin that. The ultimate situation with terrorism comes down to one religion. Quit trying to cover that up. It's this religion. And Obama and Biden brought in tons of them. The Democrats brought tons in them. And now this guy was tied to a CIA operation that we brought into America. We are our own demise. Now, let's go to two more stories. This will blow your mind. Let's go to what the billionaire said first, and then we're going to talk about this at the very end. So do not miss this. So important for the millions who took this. But let's go to first what MIT said, and then we're going to hear what the billionaire just said. New MIT study shows that AI can already replace 12% of all U.S. workforce, meaning as of right now, 12% can be fully replaced with AI. Meaning we don't need 12% of the workers so far, okay? Now listen. MIT has built agent clones of 151 working Americans to identify this. Their goal is to make sure that 50% of the workforce can be utilized within the next 2 to 3 years by robotics and AI generation. It says that even Elon Musk, who wants the best, quote unquote, best for America, that's not with this study, shows that he believes that half of the population workforce by 5 years or less will be run completely by AI or robotics. 50% of the work will not be needed anymore. Let's go to this program we talked about yesterday. Nothing is coincidental. The new project called Genesis Mission is simply, and listen to the terminology. Genesis. Genesis means beginning. It's a beginning of a new era, which is, I believe, digital ID and real ID, by the way. But let's keep on going. It says, it will be ran by the Department of Energy, which is over our grid. Remember, whoever controls the grid controls 90% of the population. Remember that. Always remember that. It says that 90% of the population will not make it without the grid. Its goal with Project Genesis is to create AGI, or artificial spirits. Tell me that's not demonic or biblical. It says, we laughed about this kind of stuff happening. And now it's happening right before our very eyes. And it says this project will be strong enough to surveil every aspect of everyone's life that's in America at any given time. That is absolutely crazy. Crazy that we're dealing with this. I want you to listen to what this billionaire said because he nailed it. And I've brought this billionaire up before, but I want you to listen to what he says. This is Stability AI founder. His name is Imad Mustaq. He says, billionaires are building bunkers because they know AI unemployment will cause for social and chaos and collapse, civil unrest. He argues the job losses started next year and as soon as the end of this year, and he says we won't know the end. Within 5 years, there will be so many unemployed and society will break down. He said, if you notice, a lot of these billionaires are building in these cul-de-sac areas, these higher end areas. If you notice, Bezos has bought a ton of Miami coast that is that's kind of off in a cul-de-sac area where you can't actually access unless you're part of that community. They also own yachts. Sam Altman, who is, to me, someone you cannot trust, has built a bunker with his live-in husband family thing across overseas in like New Zealand. You have Mark Zuckerberg building these big mega yachts. You see Bill Gates, even though he talks about carbon emissions, he's got this yacht, this super yacht that can be fully self-containable. It says these billionaires are building these capabilities to get away from society because they know it's going to break down as soon as AI really takes off. Now, when you think about that, that's why I push things like the doorcade and the window guards. That's why I push food. That's why I push making sure you're not on this system already with this new crypto, because what you're doing is you're buying into a system where government will rule over you. I want you to listen to this. Elon Musk said this. He said, we're going to see that robotics and AI is going to help people make more money. Now, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I believe you're going to see AI robotics take jobs away. And if you own the robots, then you can make some money. But what it does is this, and this is what I learned biblically. When we have idle hands and when we're not busy doing things and we're not working and we're not putting ourselves forward and we're not critically thinking, we're not exhausting our body, we're not working our body out, then we become lackadaisical, we become lazy, we become inept, we also become unrested. If you notice all the cities that have people who are not working, when they're on universal basic income, when they're on welfare, when they're on something, they end up being in drugs, they end up being in some kind of vice, or they end up being a bad part of the community. They're not contributing anything. So if you say 50% of the population by the next 5 years will be AI completely ran, where 50% of the population will be on some kind of UBI welfare system or government subsidies, that means 50% of the people will not be working, will have idle hands and either be lazy, fat, lethargic, not critically thinking for themselves, or they will cause civil unrest because they're going to want to steal what someone else has. That's not fear. That's telling you the truth. And even the billionaires who are making this technology is telling you this. Sam Altman has said this. You've had Elon Musk say this. You said, this guy from this billionaire I just read, he said, it's the same thing. This is why we're building the bunkers. Because we know society will break down because of AI. Now, this goes along with what they call the Sedition 6. You still have people, there's billboards now getting put up. And Eric Swalwell says he's hearing from all these army and military that they're wanting to stand against Trump. They're wanting to work against him. So all of a sudden now we're talking about treason and civil unrest and civil war along with AI and along with people losing jobs and not having money. You've got to be ready for this. This is happening. You know what I bought this week? I bought 2 more Second Amendment rights, if you get what I'm saying. I bought 2 of them, and I bought a lot of stuff that goes through them because I don't trust what we're doing. I love to hear Trump say he believes that God is coming back to this country. It's going to be a Christian nation. That's wonderful. But AI is not bringing that. Project Genesis is not bringing that. And the fact that we're wanting more surveillance over the people is not bringing that. Now let's bring up the last point before we go any further, because I want you to listen to what is happening with this right here. This is why I'm very wary of this time of year, because guess what? Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, all these people put out this, get your flu shot now, get your flu shot now. Let's listen to what's happening around the world dealing with what has happened since 2019, but now what is still happening, even though we know the dangers of it. Dr. McCarty came out and stated, he says, we know in the next 10 years, we're going to see so many other diseases and autoimmune disorders and so many people that are tied to government health care because of this. Now, the sad thing is, he sees it, he's part of the government, HHS sees it, they're part of the government, and yet it's still being marketed each and every day because it's money. And these businesses know it, and the government knows it. I want you to listen to some of these studies. This is from Dr. Sherry Tempini. It says, after 4 to 5 years, we've seen that the spike proteins is called myocarditis, kidney disease, pancreatitis, Alzheimer's. She said, you've seen nothing yet. She says, let this go for another 5 years. So she says in 10 years, you're going to see everyone who took this will have some form or some level of an autoimmune disease or disorder, or will be completely tied to some kind of medicine for the rest of their knowing life. This is not to mention the huge spikes of turbo cancers and infertility. People can't have children. I know cancer, I told you, I know 3 older individuals that took this, and those 3 all have developed cancer. One has passed already. The other one is got stage 4 and terminal, and the other one has gotten heart problems, just got out of a swing bed, and could possibly, they said he's doing okay right now. He's in remission, but he's also very vulnerable. They said if he gets sick, it could take him away just like that. All because something happened in 2019, 2020. And another individual told me this, 75 years old now. Clean bill of health, played tennis daily, was a big part of our community. And he told me, he said, when I turned 70, it all changed. Now, he was saying that because in his mind, he's thinking, well, it's just because I turned 70. But he also then said, in 2020, that's when we went into lockdowns. He said, so I wasn't as active. I believed it was going to be dangerous for our health. So I went on and got this. And still to this day now, he's got ALS. He struggles walking, can't play tennis. And he has already fell about 3 times. Now, you can say, well, Colby, that's just because he's older. No. His health has deteriorated from that point. You think that's just coincidence for a lot of people? It says millions will see developed colon, breast, prostate cancer, even down to young children, because we have allowed this to take place. Now, I want you to listen to what Borla said, which is Pfizer CEO. Now, God, don't trust this guy. He says, this was said back in 23. And it's happening this year now. He says, confirmed that every year from this point on, which is 23, that's 2 years ago, said that we're going to be using flu shots and putting the RNA mixture into it and the boosters into it from the CV19. And so if we put it in there, then we don't actually have to disclose it. We just tell them it's the seasonal preventative. Because he said, now we can wrap this all together. So you're still getting the stuff that you said you didn't want anymore. You're still getting the stuff that's very dangerous for you. You're still seeing the problems and ramifications of it. Even though the doctors who are over the programs are telling you it's dangerous, they're still giving it to our people, including children. New study finds that 86% of the PCR positive tests that were ran during the 2019-2020 were not real infections. It was all fake. So it means a lot of the tests that were given to then turn around and give you this, or to turn around and put you in the hospital, or to turn around and tell you to go home and lock down, was all falsified. 86% of them were falsified. It says that it warranted people to take medicine that they did not need. This doctor said, I wonder if we realized how dangerous it actually was, because it had nothing to do with actually what the CV was. It had to do with the fact of the propaganda and the fear around it. So now, Colby, what do we do? I mean, you talk about the dangers, the billionaires are building bunkers. We can't afford that. I mean, you talk about, we got to have tons of money. Well, we're living paycheck to paycheck. Oh, you're telling me that all of a sudden that if I took this, it's dangerous for me. So what am I to do? What am I going to do about the civil unrest? What am I going to do about the 20 million that Biden put in? We can't stop that. That's right. You cannot do anything about any of that. But you know what you can do? I want to kind of make sure we hone in right here. Listen to me very closely. You can clean your lifestyle up by what you eat and drink. They said that the best way to fix your body and heal your body is naturally with things that are good. Think of natural honeys, natural remedies, herbs, good, clean, whole foods. That will heal your body along with exercise. So if you're worried about this and what you took and the dangers of what you put in your body, let's start proactively being a better lifestyle change person. And let's start doing some things that are different, that are not eating fast food, crap food, convenient food, and things that are bad for our bodies. Get off all this stuff that you don't need to be on. Make sure you're taking good organic supplements and whole foods. Secondly, have you bought Second Amendment rights? Have you bought something like chains and locks for your doors? Have you found ways to secure your goods? That's a big deal. That's not that expensive. I've showed you things like the Doorcade that blocks doors. I've showed you things like, ammo cans that you could get. I've shown you different things in our prepping videos that you need to protect yourself and secure your home. Do not just think it won't happen when the billionaires who built the system are telling you this is why we're building our bunkers. Because societal collapse will take place and unrest will take place because of what AI is doing. Have you thought about trying to get out of debt? Quit getting more stuff. It's Christmas time. I know it's Black Friday and everybody's going nuts and they're buying all this stuff. If you can't afford it, please don't buy it. If you want to spend time with your family this Christmas and say, you know what, instead of us buying gifts, let's give away what we can and let's spend time together and let's try to make something for each other. Do something for someone else and realize the blessing of that. I'm fixing to take I have someone I know that struggles paying for some Ensure. Now they're older and they say, you don't realize how much it costs when I have to drink 2 or 3 of these a day because he's sick and he's trying to keep his nutrients up, and I'm not for Ensure. I don't know anything about it, but for some reason he believes in it. That little bit of just going to pick him up some Ensure and taking to his door that cost me $20, $30, it meant the world to him. So you know what? I'm building community. I'm learning how to love our neighbors as thyself. It's a biblical principle. I'm learning to take care of my family and be good stewards. I'm learning to prep and take things and put them up in consideration of knowing the dangers that we're going to be facing. So on this Thanksgiving, I want you to be thankful for what God has given us. Never take your family and your health for granted. Realize the knowledge and wisdom that we are gaining now. Be thankful for it. Learn from it. Learn from it. Prepare. Get some things put up on some shelves. And number 5, love your family. Stay focused, stay positive, and ultimately lean on Christ. Guys, let me know your thoughts on today's video.